And straight ahead on WBKB, Governor Whitmer pushes lawmakers to pass the COVID relief bill.
Plus, local students get certified and prepared for the workforce, and some good news from the Salvation Army.
You're watching Thunder Bay News Network. WBKB News at 6 starts now.
This is WBKB News at 6. An in-depth look at news, weather, and sports. From hard-hitting news stories to local events, we're there with coverage you can count on. You're watching WBKB News at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Sherry Stewart.
And I'm Tyler Cruz. Today, Governor Whitmer spoke at a press conference urging the state legislature to pass her COVID-19 recovery plan. Whitmer outlined the plan to use federal funding to ramp up the vaccination process in order to meet the goal of vaccinating 70% of Michigan by August.
Last month, Congress appropriated $90 million in additional resources for vaccine distribution in Michigan. My plan will use this federal funding to ramp up vaccine distribution in Michigan and bring us closer to our goal of 50,000 arms in shots per day.
And 50,000 shots per day will allow Michigan to reach their vaccination goals by August. However, the state is currently only vaccinating 29,000 people per day. Whitmer says funding will ensure support for local health departments, vaccine administration costs, staffing, equipment, and supplies.
Well, on Friday, Governor Whitmer announced the appointment of Elizabeth Hertel as the new director of the Michigan Department of Human Services. Hertel replaces Robert Gordon, who abruptly resigned last week. Speaking to reporters Monday, Governor Whitmer declined to go into any details and would not say if she had asked for Gordon's resignation.
I don't think I have anything to add with regard to my comments about, the former director. I've shared with you that I wish him well. I'm grateful for his leadership, and we've got a wonderful new director at the department. So we're going to continue to forge ahead here.
Also Monday, the governor said her administration is closely watching COVID-19 case numbers and the new variant of the virus before making a decision on a return to contact sports. Today, the state health department is reporting 551,080 confirmed cases of COVID-19 and 14,326 deaths. Keep in mind, these numbers are since the pandemic began nearly a year ago. Well, in other news, the holiday season brought uncertainty for many as the pandemic financially affected people's plans, and organizations like the Salvation Army was no different. However, there's good news to share as the Salvation Army of Alpena's Red Kettle goal was reached for 2020. The organization received many monetary gifts and donations over the holiday season. Major Preza Morrison says that the community truly showed up in the face of COVID-19.
Actually, the Salvation Army thought we would be really lucky if we got 50% of our goal because of COVID and the economic situation that was going on and the lack of people shopping and doing things like that. And we just really was concerned about that. But the way I always feel is I feel that most of the communities I've been to, when it's been like that, they know that there is someone worse off than they are. They give generously.
And the organization collected over $155,000 to help area families throughout the holidays and to be used for other purposes for the community. The funds will also help those in need during 2021.
Well, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is expected to deliver the articles of impeachment to the Senate by this evening. Currently, the Senate is working to confirm Biden's cabinet appointments. The articles state that former President Donald Trump incited the riot at the U.S. Capitol building on January 6th that resulted in 5 deaths. Senate pro tempore Patrick Leahy will preside over the impeachment trials rather than Chief Justice John Roberts. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court only presides over impeachment hearings for active presidents. While the articles are allegedly being delivered to the Senate today, the trial will not begin until February 9th. In other news, Dominion Voting Systems has filed a defamation lawsuit against Donald Trump's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, today. The company is a major manufacturer of voting machines in the United States, with models being used in 24 states this November. Seeking more than $1.3 billion, Dominion's lawsuit accuses Mr. Giuliani of a viral disinformation campaign about Dominion. The 107-page lawsuit cites over 50 statements made on social media, on Giuliani's podcast, and on national news shows, accusing that the manufacturers deliberately flipped votes towards Biden.
Well, wildlife enthusiasts, hunters still have time to offer their input to the DNR. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources wants to hear from you about changes to black bear hunting policies. The DNR and multiple stakeholders discussed changes to bear management during December's Black Bear Forum. Policies on the table include hunting quotas, bait barrel regulations, and the length of bow hunting season in the northern Lower Peninsula. And you can find the link to the survey on the forum, a summary that is, on our website. The survey closes this Friday, January 29th.
Well, Sherry, I know we're all disappointed up here in Alpena as the news of the winning ticket for the $1 billion Mega Millions jackpot was bought downstate in Novi. The winning ticket bought at Novi Kroger has the winning numbers of 4, 26, 42, 50, 60, and the Mega Ball number at 24. Lottery officials said Friday night's jackpot was the third largest in history. Your odds of winning the Mega Million is 1 in more than 302,500,000. To put that in perspective, multiple reports say you're likely to get struck by lightning, be allergic to water, or become a movie star. No winner has come forward yet. There are several reports that the winners are a group of Novi area teachers, but we'll see who the winner is when they come forward. Well, I think the Novi area might be needing some teachers soon, if that's true.
Oh, good. Well, good for them, whoever it is. Well, in a world where transferable skills have become the global currency of the 21st century, the value of certifications has increased, and area students are helping close the skills gap. Local high school and community college students recently received Microsoft certifications. At APS, 12 students were certified, and at ACC, 8 received certifications. The average student prepares for approximately 40 hours before they are ready to pass the exam. In a typical school year, 70 students from both schools are certified in Word, Word Expert, Excel, Excel Expert, and PowerPoint. Many employers around the world report a shortage of qualified workers, and although employers have many job openings, they struggle to find qualified applicants. With students having these needed certifications, it gives them the competitive advantage for available jobs. And good for them.
Yes, very nice. Congratulations.
Well, yeah, for sure. Well, there is more news ahead for you here on WBKB. Coming up, President Biden signs a Buy American executive order.
Of the week later in the newscast.
Thanks, Ellie. I knew the sunshine wasn't going to last too long. Yeah. Well, President Biden signed his Buy American executive order today, this afternoon at around 3 o'clock. The executive order will direct federal agencies to strengthen their requirements about using American businesses to purchase products and labor from. Biden's order also creates a position in the Office of Management and Budget that is responsible for enforcement of the directive.
I don't buy for 1 second that the vitality of American manufacturing is a thing of the past. American manufacturing was the arsenal of democracy in World War II, and it must be part of the engine of American prosperity now.
Well, during his campaign, Biden called for a $400 billion four-year increase in federal spending on products and services based in the United States. This is the start of that.
Yeah. Well, in health news today, we're learning more about how the coronavirus impacts minority communities and the growing COVID risks for children. Michael George has a look at some of the day's top health stories.
The American Academy of Pediatrics and the Children's Hospital Association report more than 200,000 children tested positive for COVID-19 the second week of January. That's the largest weekly increase yet. So far, 2.5 million children in the U.S. have caught the virus. A UK study finds people with Black and Asian backgrounds are much more likely to die from COVID. The report, published in the British Medical Journal, is one of the largest studies yet on how the virus affects minority populations. Asian patients were 1.5 times more likely to die from the virus compared to white patients, and Black patients were 1.3 times more likely. And low to moderate alcohol use does not increase stroke risk for people with an irregular heartbeat. That's according to new research from the Canadian Medical Association Journal. While doctors recommended patients with atrial fibrillation avoid alcohol, the study found alcohol use did not raise the chances patients would have a stroke or bleeding. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Well, coming up on WBKB News, Ellie Morrison is next with your 7-day forecast, plus the photo of the day. Stay tuned.
Today's photo was sent in by Sherry Stempian. Harrisville Harbor was looking beautiful but feeling very cold late last week. It was nice to see the sun reflecting off the water in Harrisville. Thank you, Sherry, for sending us this photo. If you have a photo such as nature shots, pics with friends, or interesting sights you see that you'd like to send us, email it along with a short description to news@WBKB11.com.
Almost reminds me of the beach back home. That's a gorgeous picture.
Very nice.
Sports is coming up next, but first, Jake Vandenbroek is in with a preview. Jake, what's going on tonight, man?
Hey, what's happening, Tyler, Sherry, Ellie? Coming up next in sports, the Lions they keep on adding new members to their front office. Who's now joining the Lions? Plus, athletics are on pause for the next couple of weeks for the University of Michigan. So where are the men's and women's basketball teams ranked? I'll let you know up next in sports.
Well, the wait continues for the new Bond movie, No Time to Die, and a Sundance favorite is coming to theaters. CBS's Dania Bacchus has your eye on entertainment.
James Bond.
There's been another setback for the upcoming James Bond thriller, No Time to Die. The film's release is delayed again.
Where's 007?
It was originally scheduled to open in April of last year, but the date was pushed back because of the pandemic. The movie, starring Daniel Craig, Rami Malek, Lashana Lynch, and Ana de Armas, will now open on October 8th. A man interviews 5 unborn souls for the chance to be born in the upcoming film 9 Days.
How long is this process?
If you make it until the end, 9 days.
Winston Duke plays Will, who has the task of giving tests to the unborn souls to determine who will make it to Earth. But he soon faces his own challenge in the form of free-spirited Emma, played by Zazie Beetz. 9 Days is scheduled for release Wednesday. And Fat Man, starring Mel Gibson, is coming to DVD.
Some kids with a deer rifle put 2 holes in the sleigh, one in me. All I have is a loathing for a world that's forgotten.
Mel Gibson plays Kris Kringle, also known as Santa Claus, who is forced to partner with the U.S. military to save his declining toy business. Kringle must also battle with an assassin hired by a 12-year-old who received a lump of coal in his stocking. Fat Man debuts on DVD tomorrow. That's your eye on entertainment. Dania Bacchus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And as always, you can read more about our broadcast stories and get the scoop on other news items online.
Just visit WBKB11.com for sports, weather, and news updates anytime, day or night.
Or be sure to check us out on our Facebook page and Twitter handle at WBKB11.
And that's all we have for you this evening. Be sure to catch us back here tonight at 11 with Stephanie Manici. Have a great evening.